feels good. I came to your home turf.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah, thank you.
Right before the pod, Brad was looking and stepping with the sneakers all over my apartment.
Yeah, I was rubbing. I brought some. These are my old shoes, so I had them for a while. So I got a lot of extra mileage on these shoes. I just wanted to make sure they were in your.
Do you walk your dogs with these shoes?
I step in sometimes too. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I do everything in these shoes.
And he was
Everything.
pocket watching and asking how much I make, how much the rent is, looking at my bathroom.
because you're a YouTube crash out.
So you're trying to wonder, like, okay, what's the life like of a canceled YouTube?
How do you
crash out?
continue?
Wait, should I bring my YouTube black in here for the pod?
Yeah, it's kind
Hold
of
on, I
fun.
want to bring it.
Bring it in. Well, so he's getting his million subscriber YouTube plaque, which I fully understand. I have one of these. I should have two of these, but they only sent me one.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I did this. This is mine. They can't take it away from me. YouTube, they can cancel everything, you take my channel, but you can't take my plaque. It's very beautiful.
But the crazy part is they just took all your videos off.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Yeah. They still exist, though. I just put them up on a new Twitter. There's going to be a website soon where people could see them for free.
So you still have all that content?
I have all of it, yeah. Of course.
That's good.
Can't lose that.
Yeah, because that was like your fucking like legit childhood.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because, yeah, it was really important to me. Some people try to minimize it, but it's like a sentimental value for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's something like, when I go, my videos will probably still be on YouTube. Yours will be on a website somewhere. That's sick. Same thing. YouTube's a website.
But YouTube fell off, though. It doesn't really have the same... I came to terms with it. I'm not really upset about it anymore.
Yeah. I'm trolling. So you actually think it fell off?
I don't go in... I watch everything on Twitter now, on X. I watch 90% of my videos on X. Maybe that's just because I'm the only website I'm allowed on.
Yeah.
But everything else, like, I don't watch the same YouTube. And when I click now, everyone looks like a Mr. Beast clone.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's like, why would I watch a vlog when I could just watch the best moments of the vlog on a clip?
Yeah. Well, dude, I would tell you straight up, most people come up to me now and they say, oh, you're that guy on TikTok. And
Yeah.
I don't even post. I post content on TikTok, but it's just my clips that are on TikTok.
I saw the switch. When I came back from Spain, I was walking around here. People used to say, oh, aren't you that YouTuber? You know what they say now? Like, oh, aren't you that streamer? So and now when I walk around and I see people filming, I used to go to the Washington Square Park here and see like the new people who are trying to become content creators. They used to be making street interviews and doing YouTube videos. Everyone's streaming now. The kids, like people are like walking to basketball, like with the streaming phone.
Yeah.
They're walking around. No one's trying to become a YouTuber anymore. It's all streamers.
Yeah. And it's interesting because even the big streamers, I mean, they're still able to leverage the YouTube platform because the same content that would go on a stream ends up on like, an hour long or a couple hour long different segments on YouTube videos. So they're still like there, but it's you're right. It's not as like the first option that people think about when they think about making content anymore.
I saw a switch yesterday too. Mr. Beast is like the king of YouTube, right? He posted a video yesterday going on a date on Disneyland. And I'm like, this is what we do. Like, this is what streamers. This is you take a girl, go to Universal.
And he did that for a YouTube video.
For YouTube, like he take her on a date, which is like he's doing girl content. So he's definitely seeing how much popularity is when streaming and trying to adapt it for YouTube.
Yeah, well, he's done a bunch of stuff with the FaZe guys recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been doing a lot of content where I think they go in and do content for each other essentially.
Yeah.
But they're doing stream. I mean, streaming is. I know why it is what's most popular now. It's because everything else has got to the point where, it just in the world in general, it's like what's real, what's fake. AI stuff, all this stuff.
Right.
Bro, I see videos now where I'm like, I used to believe that no, you couldn't eliminate content creators. Bro, I feel like in the next 10 years, they're just gonna be fake content creators that people won't know the difference if it's a real human being or not.
It's happening quicker than I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
The switch where you could see, they exist. You see the videos popping up of like fake street interviews, fake influencers.
The prompts.
Yeah.
Like where they're just like, obviously you could tell, right? Because they'll say like, oh, the prompter told me to do this. Like they're adding this in there. But at some point when they remove these sort of like, I guess, intros into these sequences, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I genuinely am curious if it's going to eliminate influencers.
No, I won't eliminate it because there's going to be a demand for real. And there's enough people, like, you wouldn't watch an AI influencer, would you?
No.
I wouldn't either. And I know that I wouldn't. So there's a demand. If there's a lot of people like that, we're just never going to consume that.
Like, bro, I've seen a video of this guy. It's completely AI. I'm reading comments, and people think it's real.
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
the
even
scary
like,
part.
this is AI. It's like a guy like with like cops behind him, and he's like, put the cops like, put the phone down, put the phone down. He's like, I can't. He keeps saying I can't. It was just a prompt.
Yeah.
And all the comments are like, where was this? Is the guy okay?
Dude, I thought I was never gonna fall for that. I saw this video of somebody trying to get on a plane, and the kangaroo's holding the plane ticket, and they're like, "You can't bring the kangaroo on the plane." I was like, "That's crazy."
Well, you know that.
And I fell for it. I
No,
swear.
there's no way you
I
think
fell for
that's,
that.
you thought the kangaroo was real.
I thought I was like, "Whoa, why they can't let a kangaroo on the plane?" Like,
No, you're
like I was just like, obviously. And then I read the comments, and after a while, I'm like, "Oh, this was AI." Like my
you couldn't
first,
tell by it holding the ticket.
I thought it was like a goofy moment. I thought maybe it was a skit or like, I did not register that was AI. I swear.
It's scary.
I
bro.
got. We're all gonna get got. You know, it's gonna happen where you're scrolling, you're not really paying too much attention, and then you see some AI slop.
But that's why I think the streaming is so popular and so relevant, and like everyone's trying to go towards that because obviously you see the kind of fame and also the kind of money that the streamers are making now. It's insane.
Wait, Amber Rose is calling me. Should I pick up or is that
Yeah, I
interrupting
don't
the
say
podcast?
yeah. Whatever.
Hey, Amber, I'm doing the podcast with Brad right now.
What up?
Okay, guys. Well, have fun. See you later.
Okay,
All right.
text me. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, all right, bye.
Bye.
What's that?
Don't worry about it.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Random FaceTime from Amber Rose.
Yeah. How was your pod with her?
Wow, it was good.
Yeah,
It was good.
Spoke very highly of you.
Yeah, she's sick. She's a
Yeah.
she's a cool person.
Nice person.
So, that also leads me to one of my next questions. Is the internet's curious, and I think people have asked you. I don't know how you really answer it, but is it true that you were dating Ye, his wife's sister?
I mean, yeah, she was in Spain and got to hang out with her when I was there. It's like no secret.
Because I saw the McDonald's thing. Everyone saw the McDonald's thing.
Yeah, I got her some fries. Yeah.
No, it's sweet.
It's nice.
Like, so is that what's going on?
People are acting like giving fries is proposing.
Okay, fair.
It wasn't a proposal.
So there was no proposal.
I did not propose. No.
Oh. Did you like try to say, hey, come? I have an apartment in New York, and it's the top of the building, and I got a balcony that like wraps around.
I
Did
should
you do-
say that. The way you say it makes it sound like my life is really cool.
No, it's nice. It's got, and you got like Nobu like bathroom in New York. That's crazy.
Pretty sick. But you
Did
know how
you-
much it costs? It's like this shit is not cheap.
No.
Not cheap
No.
at all.
It also makes me like you should buy a mansion for that price, bro.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, give or take $4,000, but
Yeah,
at-
but
at
getting
that
to
point-
be here is a different experience.
Well,
Completely.
what's so different about it here in your opinion?
Okay, you've been here for like a day or so. Don't you see the magnetic energy of the city? Like just being on the balcony, expensive cars, buildings. This
Yeah.
is where everything's happening, you know? And especially because I like to stay busy. I don't miss stuff here. You can't really be lazy here. I notice when I go back to Miami now, I get lazy. You know,
But what makes you lazy?
I'm not sure what it is, but the last like 3-4 times I'll do like a stream or two. I'll fly out, do something with Aiden, maybe do my own thing, go fresh and fit, and then or just fit, not the other part.
Yeah,
And I'll go there, and then after a day or two, I get really lethargic, and I can't figure out why. But here I'm always on go, no matter what.
why did you have beef with that guy anyways? How did that start?
It's,
With Fresh, obviously.
yeah, this it's not. Bro, everything you're asking me, I don't want to talk about. I don't even want to speak about that again, to be honest.
Fair.
Okay, you know why? You know, you could probably relate. There's certain things that are just like you are better than talking about it. You know, it's like there's no even me saying this is just helping out. You know, all
get
it
it.
does is just give it, and then the back and forth, like, oh, he said this, and then
Yeah, I get
they
it.
get content. It's just like there's no point in even addressing it, and I have to admit I have brought it up a lot because known some of these people for a long time.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you just got to drop it, and that's what sucks about the content creator space is like in the rap industry, like you could drop a diss track and like destroy someone's career. Content creators, you could just do the back and forth thing forever.
Yeah.
You know, like
But-
you don't have to stand on any principles. You don't need to. You could avoid confrontation. You can
Yeah.
just talk.
And just keep getting views and clicks.
And it's
all
just,
that.
and all it does is benefit the people who are completely irrelevant without me saying their name.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, I know you don't want to keep talking about it, but like, how did it start? Obviously, it's probably like there's a lot more to it than just. But I just don't know why, out of left field, why was it even a thing to begin with? Because it's not like you were ever. I never saw you outwardly be like, yo, this guy for any purpose or any reason. It was always sort of cordial.
Yeah. I think with some people, there's long-standing, and not specific to what you're saying, but in general, I think there's like some people that have jealousy and a lot of comparison. There's another guy that you might know. There's a couple that I can think of right now. This pertains to 3 people, and they're all older than me, but they constantly compare themselves to me, and I could tell that there's like there's a lot of jealousy there, and that's what I've come to terms with.
So you just spawn from that.
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you talk about, like, when they categorize you as a red pill manosphere, you're talking about, like, masculinity, these topics. It's like, oh, well, then they get all, like, big bro, low bro on you.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you don't consider yourself in that space anymore?
No, I mean, I never really was. It was like, they put me there. But I've always been a lot more. That's why I moved back to New York. Because like for a while they said I was red pill this and they tried to say I was a manosphere person, but it's like this is where I started. Like making videos in New York, with the string that you could see laying around.
Yeah.
Making these detailed vlogs.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just gonna make it a little uncomfortable, but would you be then? Because everyone goes like, oh man, this people's biggest beef with you is this one thing. What do you think it is? Besides stuff that you say or stuff that you've talked about, like the reason why you've gotten banned.
Oh, like saying grifter that I changed?
Yes.
I don't think it's a beef.
Because you were in that lane. In a way.
In the lane of what? Like, I don't even know what it is. They say, what is red pill? What is the manosphere? Everyone has a different definition of it. And they're like, you need to just talk about this. Like, why? Like, how stupid is that to only talk about one topic over and over again all day?
I guess the perception-wise from the audience is you did talk about those things enough.
I still do.
Yeah.
I still do. And I also make vlogs. I also stream. I also travel. I also do.
I'm just saying, I think from the perspective why even someone can make those statements about you being, grifting this or grifting that, and like the arguments around it, which I think are silly because I know you do a ton of different stuff and you always have. But it's because I think you spent a certain amount of time in that circle of people who all kind of like, they're proud to label themselves in this sort of manosphere.
Yeah, they're all cornballs. Like there's something of value there, and I think Myron's a great example of somebody who embodies what a lot of the characteristics that men lack nowadays. Loyalty, camaraderie, being a man of your word, this stuff. Trying to avoid traps of feminism and not simping for girls. That stuff is really important, and he characterizes that. The rest of these people, like I went in there because he would vouch for them, and I'm like, okay, this is like interesting. I don't believe in feminism, and you're like, you believe that you should get a vasectomy to be a high value man? And like that's what they say. Like I'm the Godfather. I'm the Godfather of the red pill. And then here's a list of how to be a high value man. Number 1, get a vasectomy. It's like, no, this is not. What the fuck are you talking about? And so if you call it out, you're like, you're betraying us. Like this is not what I signed up for. Just because I don't want to give all my money to a girl doesn't mean I need to get a transgender surgery.
Right. I get it. So on the allegations of the whole where people say you're a grifter, why do you think they say that about you?
I think because I do a lot of things. Like I just came back from Spain with EA doing music content because I make vlogs, because people know me from different things. I'm not in one category. I think people are used to seeing people just go in one lane forever. I find that extremely boring. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like I've changed my mind on some topics, but like not compared to most other people, I don't think so at all. I think I've been very public. And I speak a lot, so people are used to hearing that. But
what do you think you've changed your mind on the most?
Since when? In my life?
The last few years.
I think becoming Muslim is the biggest one. That's definitely the biggest change. Yeah. It's been 2.5 years now.
Why did you decide to do that? Was it because Andrew Tate was saying he was a Muslim?
No, it's like...
I'm trolling you.
I know.
I'm trolling you.
I've always resonated with the most, reading Malcolm X's autobiography.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I'm, even like Dave Chappelle, he signed this $100 bill here. He became Muslim.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
So Dave Chappelle signed this. I met him 6 years ago at a comedy club called The Stand, and he wanted a pack of cigarettes. And so I wanted to talk to him, so I brought a pack of cigarettes knowing that he was going to ask the crowd for one. I threw it up for him, and then I'm like, oh, can I don't know, I think I asked if I can get one back, and then he handed me this bill on the stage. And then like gave this like speech during the show about like kindness and about gestures and stuff.
That's
then
sick.
After the show, there was an after party, he signed it and stuff. So there are a lot of people that like Muhammad Ali became Muslim, and I've noticed people's change, and being able to leave behind a lot of their old life. Like Malcolm X he was a pimp. He was a street pimp. He was, stealing. He was dealing drugs. He went to jail. And then when you saw the transformation after he became Muslim, and I find that very inspiring. I like to grow. I want to become the highest version of myself. So, my advice to people who are like afraid to change their mind because they don't want to be criticized is like, evolution is the highest form of being a human. Like we can change our mind. We can grow. And it's okay to strive to become better. Don't let people box you in and say, you need to be this, you need to get a vasectomy, you're not a high value man. No, I want to graduate past that. I want to have a family. I want to do the best I can do.
Yeah. Like you say about just being a human, learning things, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all this whole experience is about, learning and being able to apply it or teach it to the next sort of generation. All right, guys, quick alerts for the podcast. If you guys have not already done this, one of the easiest ways to transfer money to your friends, family, whatever, fast, secure, Cash App. Go download the app right now. Use code RAWTALK when you download the app. And basically, if you send $5, essentially this is like a money glitch. You send $5 to a friend, one friend, you can't just send $5 to like a bunch of friends, but one friend, you get $10 in return. So basically like you get free $5 and your friend gets $5. But if you guys have never used Cash App, basically it's just a very easy way to transfer money, to send money around without sometimes people don't have, certain money transfer platforms, or banks are super cumbersome to like send money around and get money or wire. You get fees from banks and all these sort of other things that come with sending money. Cash App makes it really simple. You have money in the account, you send it, it's safe. There's no issues. There's not like you're not getting fees on random stuff. So if you guys have not done it, go check out Cash App, download the app, use code RAWTALK. You get free $10 when you send 5 to a friend within 14 days of using the code, basically. And maybe I will do a giveaway or something. Sometimes I do a little like gambling streams and I'll give away a little bit of money. And I normally use Cash App to send that money. So go download Cash App, use code RAWTALK, get some free money, and let's get back into this podcast. Did you see the clip of Khabib? This was going like, I don't know if it's going
not
viral.
Shaking his hand.
Yeah.
I found it funny that a lot of people are freaking out over Khabib saying, just in a nice way, he just like, I'm married. I'm respectful. Everyone freaks out. Speed's like sticking out his tongue. Like it's like so crazy. When a girl graduates high school at 18 and shows her butthole on OnlyFans, people just move on with their day. Like that's less crazy in the West than Khabib not shaking a woman's hand.
I was reading comments like, it's so disrespectful. It's like, I don't think it is. I think
it's literally a sign of respect.
Right. Yeah.
It's a sign of respect. And maybe we could adopt some of his ideas and culture, because what's happening here is not working. In the span of a couple of years, like I saw earlier, remember when Charlie Sheen dropped out of 2.5 Men and he went, Tiger Blood?
Yeah.
Remember when that was the craziest news story of 2009?
Yeah.
That would not even make news today.
Yeah.
Now a girl could say that she fucked 1,000 guys in a day, and then we're like, oh, cool, scroll to the next video.
Oh,
right? We are getting desensitized because everyone's trying to one-up how crazy things are. Tiger Blood, that's nothing. Obama wore a beige suit, and that was like this crazy media frenzy back in like 2012.
Yeah.
No one's even going to blink twice at that today, because we're so used to things being as degenerate and hedonistic as possible.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be respectful like Khabib.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so this is back on the Muslim thing a little bit. Did you see Charlie Kirk tweet that Muslim?
He said Islam is not compatible with Western society.
Yeah.
You know what? If Charlie Kirk said that same tweet and he replaced Islam with another religion, which I'm talking about, what would happen?
Oh,
he said Judaism is not compatible.
GG's for him.
You're good. You're done. He's out of the White House. He's not going to have a bank account. He's going to lose his social media platforms. He can say Islam is not compatible with Western society. Then what is?
Well, I'm also curious. What do you think he means specifically when he says it's not? Like, what about it is not?
I think he knows he's lying and being deceptive, and I think he's trying to paint Islam as like a terrorist religion to try to place more blame on Hamas. I think he's just trying to push that narrative again, which failed for a while, where after 9/11 there was an idea that Muslims were terrorists, and now people are like, oh, okay. No, they're not. That doesn't mean you're in a basement with an AK-47. You hate America. That has nothing to do with the religion. But they want to start pushing that again, and they want to start demonizing. So they're going to start talking about what Charlie Kirk's talking about.
Yeah. For what purpose, though? It seems like
to distract away from what Israel's doing.
Yeah.
Because Israel's not compatible with Western society. Israel's this place in the Middle East.
You're not speaking about Judaism specifically.
I'm saying Israel's not compatible with Western society, and they control Western society. They run the strings all over America. They have the biggest lobby here. They own all the politicians. We know that. They controlled Epstein, that blackmail operation. They run all of our foreign policy. They get us into wars. This is what is causing all the destruction here.
But don't you think it's you say Israel is the reason why, but we're complicit in the fact of like it's a giant circle. It's not just Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like it's our government as well that is.
Yes, that's true.
I think it goes like this.
It has for so long because they've sunk their fangs in this country for so long. Like we claim to be America first, and this is probably why it's going to be difficult for me to be around the Trump administration. But they say that we should be America first, and we're clearly not. There's allegiance, there's an undying allegiance to this place in the Middle East. If we're going to put America first, then why does all of our money go and fund wars in the Middle East? Why? Like, why are they our greatest ally? I loved asking that to people, and I would ask that to Charlie Kirk, but he would never debate anybody who's politically versed in this stuff. Why is Israel our greatest ally? What do they give us? The average American has no idea. But they say, like, okay, as soon as you talk about this, people like J.D. Vance will go and Theo Vaughn, their first tactic is deflecting and talking about Ukraine, Russia. They don't want to talk about this. They just want to keep giving them money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it almost seems as if you start to really go down the road. It's like you're admitting to yourself, as in ourself or our government being a part of it all. Because
yeah, they are. Yeah,
it's not just, and I'm not specifically speaking about a war, right? Even though, you know, Afghanistan, 20 years there, like, this is the thing that always irks me, right? Is we went to Afghanistan under the idea after 9/11 that basically weapons of mass destruction, we have to stop all this stuff. You know, what happened here in New York specifically. We go there, and now we're there for 20 years in this war. Mm-hmm. Then we get back, and I think this was around the time Biden, like, left billions of dollars, and everyone was like, this is so stupid. And then, but then everyone also, Republicans and Democrats, were also like, that was a waste of time in a lot of ways. Like, there was no, like, democracy.
No benefit.
There was no benefit, but everyone agreed. You know, like, both sides were like, we shouldn't have done that. We don't want wars. No more wars. And the thing that I don't understand is, like, why is that different now?
That's a good point. I don't know how many times America needs to make this mistake. Vietnam, you could look back at the same.
But the thing is, when we talk about mistakes, it irks me because in my mind, I'm like, there's no way it's a mistake. It's a willful decision because of money. Like, it's about this. It's about whether it's the lobby and bringing the money back, or like to the politician, or it's the money going to the military industrial complex and all the it's just like, it just keeps doing this. So it's almost not like, you know, I know everyone goes, it's Israel, right? But it's also just us. It's also how our economy has done this, how it's done it, like, over all these years. And it's like it seems as though we've always needed, like, a scapegoat in order to pursue any of these things. Like, we're not going to say we're the guys who are trying to, you know, like, it's funny, like, I even see memes where it'll be like, Iceland or Greenland found oil, and it's like, here, oh, you mean our oil? And it's like America coming in with the fighters. Mm-hmm. It's like they're joking about the fact that, like, and everyone's like, yeah, and it's like kind of a joke, but it's real. Like, it's, you know, for resources, for money, for this continuous exchange of economy.
Right, but there's been periods in American history where we weren't completely reliant upon this terrible foreign policy. I think JFK was the perfect example of a president who wanted to remove that loyalty to Israel, where he wanted to stop going into meaningless wars, and look what happened to him. They assassinated after 3 years. He was the first president to really explain, and also he didn't want Israel to be stealing nuclear bombs. He was pushing for some form of peace where we could actually put America first. I mean, that's a slogan that we could all get behind. They killed him. So,
yeah.
And who do you think killed him? I mean, how does that happen? My point is, the cycle can be broken. It's not like we're stuck. The way you're describing it is like it's a toxic relationship where you need to be in it forever. I don't think it needs to be that way. And I think a lot of Americans think that too. And that's Stockholm syndrome. We can get out of this. I mean, look, we're protected by 2 oceans. We'll do well in a world war. Like, if we go into Iran, if we fund a war, that's what they want right now. Israel wants to go and nuke Iran, and they want America's involvement because we have the best military in the world. We're separated by 2 oceans. Nobody's going to invade us. Canada's north, Mexico's south. They're not going to do shit. We're in a good spot. As long as we could actually break that cycle, I don't think we could be trapped. I don't think we need to be in this forever.
Yeah, but so that's when you start war and all this stuff aside, then you start talking about why is it happening, and it's like the thing that I'm like, you always think of this happening and being like, oh, they're just taking our money, and politicians are taking our money, right? But the thing that really trips me out is Elon Musk and Trump, right? And we'll get into that conversation about that whole spat they had. But Elon Musk, everyone votes for this, like not specifically for Elon Musk to come in and do Doge, but everyone's like, yo, that was a part of like the campaign trail, was like, this guy's gonna come in here and sort of regulate government spending.
Yeah,
right?
why? Like, he's not even an American.
Well, I mean, I think from the outside perspective, you're as Americans, you're thinking this guy is the richest man in the world. He has all these companies. Clearly, he knows something about business. So people are going to hear that and be like, sick. And that's not even my point.
I think before you continue, I think that's the Trump effect on America, where we just, a lot of people blindly follow him. If Kamala Harris said, I want this billionaire African to come in the White House, pretty much be my right-hand man, and then change the government spending completely, everyone would be against it.
I don't know. I think Elon Musk got to a point, and is at a point where he's at a level of success that it wouldn't matter if it was Democrats or Republicans, because the people wanted this sort of actual reform. They wanted an actual like money reform, because it's clear, like just on a small scale in a city or in a state, right? Like people are like, I'm paying all these taxes. In California, example. Yeah. Roads are still like basic shit. I'm not even talking about like, external, other countries, other nations, anything. But people are like, where is all this going? Like, it's
That's
not.
true. I understand wanting to fix government spending, but when I voted for Trump in 2016, it was to get rid of like the billionaire oligarchs. It was to drain the swamp. And then Trump is, in a way, like, is this not a new swamp? Is this not, you're bringing in a billionaire who's, he's one of the richest people in the world, if not the richest, and he clearly wants power. This is the creation of a new DC, a new swamp, and not what we want. I would like less billionaires involved.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's an inevitable, because like economy of scale and everything is also just involved with billionaires. So, and again, I think Trump also came in and changed a lot of stuff that also people were like, yo, we're tired of this sort of push of sexuality on here and there, and he came in and changed a lot. I think he did a lot of good things. But the thing that I'm trying to make, the point that I'm trying to make, is that everyone universally, Democrat, Republican, everyone was like pretty much like, damn, this Doge, the idea of someone coming in and changing like the financial movement here is a great idea. The thing that I can't get over is that Elon Musk comes in, he's got a whole like Twitter feed, and he's like, all this stuff was fraud. All this stuff was bullshit money spent. We can't even track where it went. We don't know where, like, very clear money laundering and fraud. Mm-hmm. And nothing comes of that.
Like, nobody gets prosecuted?
No, like, furthering the issue. And then it's also like it kind of wandered away, and then there's no real change. That's the thing that I'm like, because everyone goes, yes, we need this. And everyone goes, oh, yes, it's happening. And then he goes, yes, the money sent here was completely not used for anything useful. We're spending money on buildings there, billions of dollars for empty buildings. Like, he was saying all these things that were happening. Everyone's like, fuck, that's great. We're finding this. And then it's like, well, we can't figure out who did what with what money. And it's like, that's the thing. And then it kind of gets quiet. And I'm just like, is everyone forgetting that, like, if that just got quiet, it's likely just still
happening right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because you talk about America not needing to be in a position where, they have to be in this like hyper military industrial complex of like money and spend. Like I've seen, like, I don't know if this is exactly right, but I've seen like fucking, they'll quantify how much it costs to just like buy a missile or even shoot a missile or test a missile, and it's like trillions of like crazy money, right?
You're bringing up a pattern that I think people at the top are starting to realize, where maybe 5-6 decades ago, something like government spending and all this corruption there, that would be a giant media frenzy. Everyone would be up in arms about this. I think now they're starting to realize, after Epstein and after seeing what they can get away with, that people just don't have enough energy to invest into, like, they can get away with a lot because there's so much corruption that they don't need to hide it anymore. They can tell you, and it's out there. You might get mad for a day, and then you scroll on to the next one. There's no way, with everything going on and all the, now we're aware of what's happening in the world, there's no way that you can invest your energy into make a change. And so I think that's part of the reason Elon tweeted that Trump is implicated in the Epstein files, because he kind of knew, like, okay, I'll say it. People will be mad. The tweet will go viral. But notice how, like, yesterday at the fight, everyone's still cheering him on. If you said that if Elon Musk said that Trump was implicated in the Epstein files 10 years ago, there's going to be a lot more backlash. There's going to be people who are refusing to vote for him. There's going to be people demanding that he release the files. I think they're realizing the overstimulation of how much we could really even care about. And then they're seeing they can get away with everything.
Yeah, I mean, COVID was the thing that really changed it for me, where I was like, and then how you see after years later, they're like,
example.
all this stuff. Oh yeah, that was ivermectin actually did work, and it wasn't just a horse.
And they just move on. And like I got banned on YouTube for COVID for saying that. Now you could say this. I said that the vaccine doesn't work. Don't take the vaccine. At the time, they said that was misinformation. This is terrible. You're harming people. They said you can't meet with your family. You have to miss funerals. Now you can say that. Now they admit that, but I'm still banned. Which 20 before the internet, that would be like complete. That's what they were afraid of in the 50s with communism. Being able to, not being able to trust the government. Distrust the fact that they're lying. They're trying to put stuff in your body. Even like 10 years ago when Alex Jones was popping up, that was the craziest thing ever. And COVID normalized lies.
Yeah.
Everyone accepts it now. Everyone accepts that there's corruption. Everyone accepts that there's blackmail. There's the worst things ever. But they have seen, and COVID allowed it, which is a good point. We have to work. We have to take the kids to school.
Yeah.
I can't be. What do you want me to do? You want me to leave the country? Like I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough energy, time to do anything about this.
Yeah, it's sad, man. But that's, I think of all this stuff and I just go like, well, then how does it actually change? Like, what actually changes if people are so fatigued? Like, how do you actually make the change? It's like, let's say someone who then, they're going to make the change, they get up there, and then it's like, oh, well, here's some money. And that person's like, okay, well, I got to take care of my kids. I got to do my shit. It's like, that's why every time I've had these conversations about anything like super, I don't want to say political, but just like divisive. The thing that's not going to change, I mean, maybe at some point when fucking AI takes over, everyone just fucking dominated by computers, it's the human greed. It doesn't matter if it's like, like you could take anyone, for example. Let's say there's some kid right now who is saying the conversation, America first, and this is what we're going to do, right? Who's to say when that guy gets to a point where, let's say, politically, maybe he's turning 40 now. Maybe he's like, I'm going to run for office. And then he gets into the same system and they're like, hey, we know you feel that way, but like, check this out.
And they tempt you with greed? Yeah, I mean.
Because it's human greed at the end of the day. Like, it's,
I don't think, I see that's too doomer to think that everybody is corrupted by greed. I don't think so. What I do think the doomer take is that a lot of these people, like Gaddafi, for example, he saw what was happening in Africa. He wanted to establish his own bank, an African bank that was not controlled by Europeans, and he was assassinated. I think the more doomer take is that because not everyone is corrupted by greed. When they get to that position, they'll just take you out if you really test the status quo. So what I think the solution is it's not complete radical change, because that's right now it looks like it's impossible. It's gonna be a slow, gradual change, and also if enough people realize like what's going on. I think quickly, the biggest shift in the past year is the distrust that Americans have in Israel. Before October 7th, people really did believe that narrative, like this is our greatest ally. They did believe, like they see the Star of David next to all these politicians, and then they would think that, okay, this is the homeland. But now people are seeing what they're doing, and then very quickly, because of the internet, which they're panicking about, that's definitely that's a major discussion they're having, is how do we regain trust? How do we get the narrative on our side again? Because too many people are waking up too fast. Or even J.D. Vance has to respond to Theo Vaughn about it. Or even Trump is starting to be like, yeah, this is I'm going to recognize Palestine. Where he looks visibly upset about what's going on. That wasn't supposed to happen so quickly, and that's a product of the internet. So once America gets to the point, quickly within a year, they're going to have to adapt towards what the people want, which is what we don't want allegiance to a place that's committing genocide.
My biggest fear is the AI stuff, man. Like, I think you get to a point where already through social media, you talk about bots and all these things that they either respond or they like make something look more popular than it is, right? And I'm not talking about bots of viewing on streamers or whatever, but you know, on Twitter or just engagement overall about like, yeah, like we agree, like just people's kind of like, because a lot of people, they see comments, excuse me, they look at content and they go to comments and they kind of see what people are saying, and a lot of times I feel like they will adopt the sort of comments reaction to the thing.
It changes your perception. You think the video is good if the comments are good.
Yes.
Have you noticed that half of tweets now, you read the replies, like half of them are AI? I don't know if people talk about that, but like there'll be a video like 1 year anniversary since Brad slaps StableRonaldo, and there'll be a reply like, wow, Brad slapping Ronaldo? It's been a year? Wonder how this panned out. And it's like, this is not a human typing that.
Yeah.
This is an AI that watched the video and saw the year thing and then computed a response to generate traffic for that new page. And it's like 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
You know, like some Indian guy.
Here's the scary part. When they get a hold on AI as like a whole and just this evolution of technology, and we just talked about earlier about like the AI videos and influencers being, you know, essentially recreated or just created. At what point, like, could you just press a button and go, oh, everyone's kind of saying this now? And the thing is, like, who's controlling all these companies? Like, who's going to control? It's the same thing.
Yeah. This is why Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, have you seen them start saying?
Bro, I saw the Joe Rogan interview.
I didn't see that yet. What did he say?
You didn't watch the Kash Patel
No,
one?
what did he say?
Well, this is just specifically, might be off the topic you were talking about, but he was talking about the Epstein thing and the fact that like they have footage.
Exactly.
All of a sudden.
It ties into what you're saying. So the narrative in 2017, 2018 was that the cameras broke. So Epstein, he killed himself in jail, but magically all the security guards, were turned over here.
Or they were sleeping or whatever.
Are you fucking?
I don't know. I'm just saying
that's the
what
narrative.
I read.
I know. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Just like COVID, they're able to change the story so quickly now, and then they act like we didn't even see what happened. They said the cameras are off and the guards are sleeping. Now, Dan Bongino is saying, oh, we found camera footage. 7 years later, some hard drive, whoa, there's the file that we missed for the most important prisoner in the past 100 years. Right when AI becomes good enough to where you could actually fake that footage.
Yeah.
Now the government is going to be able to lie about prison. They can use. You don't think they're using AI to their advantage?
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like so you talk about us getting to a point of being able to really sort of change or affect real change, but then this is coming pretty quickly up the pipeline, and it's like it's an interesting concept. Like there was also like a weird thing, and again, it's to the point where even when I speak this to you, I'm like, well, did what I know the Joe Rogan interview was real because I saw that, right? Then there's another video of Pam Bondi saying, oh, we have thousands of hours of this footage with children. But in the same interview with Joe Rogan, separate interview, this is like she was standing somewhere doing a press release. I think this might have been time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, no, excuse me. It was like 3 days before Kash Patel went on and did the interview with Joe Rogan. She said we have thousands of hours of basically crimes against children. He said in the same interview, he said, if I had footage, why would I not put it out there?
Right.
While she said a couple days prior that there was footage.
So they're just trying both stories simultaneously?
I have no idea.
They're just going to keep lying about the...
Well, fuck all the lies then. The thing that is undisputable is that this Maxwell lady, who was literally the person who was involved in everything.
Ghislaine Maxwell was the bottom bitch.
And she's in prison now. And like when in my mind I go, okay, I think about law and order. I think about the court system. You're in prison now because you were involved in these crimes. Well, to be involved in these crimes, I mean, you have to have awareness of the criminals in the crimes.
Right.
How is that not divulged further? Like, how are they not walked further down that line to be like?
Because it implicates most of people in DC right now. That's why. Like that's the answer that I know you know. It implicates most of the country. Like that's how they got American politicians to have undying allegiance to Israel, was this blackmail operation. I don't know if you know this, maybe you do, but Ghislaine Maxwell, her father was literally Mossad. Robert Maxwell was a Mossad agent for Israel, and Jeffrey Epstein's his biggest financer was Les Wexner.
So these are undisputable.
These are facts. Like this is not a conspiracy theory.
Not some AI guy was like, yo, Sneako, check this out.
No. Les Wexner, the founder of Victoria's Secret, funded Jeffrey Epstein. People talk about Epstein all the time. He's a billionaire philanthropist. What did he do?
No, I know.
What did Jeffrey Epstein do?
Trust me, I've thought of it.
He didn't do anything. He didn't have
Man, he made a lot of money somehow.
He had no education. Yes, because he was financed by the richest Zionist in the world. He was Les Wexner was in Ohio, the richest American Zionist. He gave him all of his money, and then here's all these connections, and then from there, that's where he was able to have the blackmail operation. But people like talk about him, and the newspapers in New York talked about him like he was this Trump-esque figure, but he had no business. He had no expertise. He was only good at socializing. His entire thing was being able to honeypot rich
They
people.
say
and
he was a
celebrities.
financier, right?
That Les Wexner was the financier.
I thought they said Epstein was also a financier.
No, he didn't. He was just financed by Les Wexner. He didn't do anything. So you have those two undeniable facts, and you're gonna be like, this guy wasn't an Israeli agent. Clearly, like right now, Dan Bongino, these people, Kash Patel. The narrative is they're trying to say like, oh, he was funded by some country in the Middle East, the Qataris, and we're not gonna release the Epstein file because the Saudis and the Qataris are gonna be implicated. No, this is who did it. Like Jeffrey Epstein was a Zionist. He was a Jewish Zionist. Everyone else around his team, he was literally married, or Ghislaine Maxwell was essentially his wife, is the daughter, family of the people that founded Israel. Like, not only was he just a Mossad agent, these were terrorists that were instrumental in the founding of Israel and bombing up hospitals, bombing banks. None of this is undisputed. Are you gonna tell me after hearing these facts, you think Jeffrey Epstein worked for Saudi, for Qatar? Like, why is this? People are like, well, we need to look at the files, look at this information, and it's clear.
So you think it's just people just legitimately being disingenuous?
Yes, 100%. And that's why Dan Bongino was like lead Rumble streamer. Maybe you met him at UFC or something. Like, he's like, oh, some country in the Middle East. Yeah, which one? Which country? Was it Yemen? Like, did Jeffrey Epstein work for Morocco? Just say it. I mean, it's so obvious if you look at this, but...
Well, it's interesting because I think I've seen footage of Dan himself saying, like, make sure you keep an eye on that before he got involved, that it's probably not what they say it is, and then now he's involved saying, no, he killed himself. I don't know, man. I just see it all, and I'm just like... like you said, you could look at literal things that are... Even what someone else said, and then... Again, things can change, or your opinion can change based on more information you have, but it's almost gotten to the point of like just total mass. There's so many sort of fingers pointing where it's like, man, what's going on?
What do you mean?
Like, how do we? There's so many fingers pointing in that direction that it's like, what's
the holdup?
Yeah.
Well, because they own everyone in power, so they're doing their best job right now, and I think Americans are realizing. This is the biggest cover-up of all time. But it's at a critical time with the internet, with AI, where they're trying to backtrack now. They saw what they were able to do with COVID to change the narrative, but too many people are aware of this, of the first instance where he supposedly killed himself. And they're not going to be able to cover up without, talking over themselves and changing their minds and grifting. It's funny, like,
yeah,
they're going to change every other minute. There's going to be a new narrative, but people need to realize that this guy did not kill himself and he was an agent of Israel. That's an undeniable fact.
Well, there wasn't there was a report, like some scientists, like a third party came in and checked on how Epstein himself actually died, and they were saying how the rope wasn't in the sort of upward fashion of like a hanging would have been, like with the body weight. It was more of a backwards fashion of like someone was behind him, sort of.
100%, yeah.
And like, I just saw Joe tell Cash that, and he's like, oh, well, I haven't seen that report. And I'm like, wait.
The head of the FBI hasn't seen that report.
Yeah. And so you see it all, and I'm just like, at what point? I don't know. It's almost like, how many fires could they walk into before they're like, oh,
it's getting bad. See, and I think one of the...
And the thing is, they're like real things. And then they say something, and then they're... Like, that was he said that on the pod, like his real reaction. It's just a weird positioning to go, okay, like you said, you're the director of the FBI and you didn't see this thing that Joe Rogan saw. No, and I see that and I'm like, well, like, did Joe Rogan see something that wasn't real? Or did Cash just willfully say like, yo, I didn't see it? And I'm just like, man, because like the point is, you just can't it's almost like you can't make that up.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I think they're realizing that they can't keep trying to cover it up, so they're just trying to lie to our faces now. and just expose it and just be upfront about it. That's why you see the Elon tweet saying, just get it out there and let people be comfortable with the idea that this happened. Kash Patel can just be comfortable with, oh, he died, he didn't die, the camera's on camera. Just let it sit. And it's working. Because that should be nationwide uproar. And I like that Joe Rogan's waking up. Because that's one of the biggest turns where you know that like Joe Rogan's definitely having this conversation off the podcast every day right now. He had Ian Carroll on, and he's realizing what happened with 9/11 and JFK and with Epstein. I think Ian Carroll went on there and did a great job explaining Epstein's ties to Israel. This is something that Joe Rogan was kind of avoiding for a long time, but now it's like he's starting to. There's no way he's not connecting the dots as well, and he has, probably the most powerful voice in the country when it comes to
absolutely.
information.
Undeniable.
Yeah.
I just wonder. It's like. Yeah, what? They're not going to try to silence Joe Rogan, huh? I think he's at a point if you can.
He's too big. Yeah, he's too big. See, smaller guys, like when I was canceled, I was like the perfect person to ban because I was just big enough to signal to everybody else that you got to be careful, but not big enough to start an uproar. If they tried to take down Joe Rogan's podcast, there's going to be, headaches that they got to deal with. You can ban Sneako.
Yeah.
And you'll send a message, but no one's going to riot. No one's gonna riot.
Yeah, you think people would riot for Joe? He would be like, yo, something's up.
There would be a massive shift. There would be
a
massive shift in public consciousness.
It's interesting. Man, Joe's done a crazy job, man. Fuck, impressive. So, okay, besides all this kind of shit, what do you think you have the most conversations about in your life right now? You just said like Joe be having this conversation. You think he would be having this conversation. What do you talk about the most? It's not politics, red pill.
A lot of film. And I mean, the past 5 weeks in Spain, a lot of it was art with Ye. Ironically, like I know Ye is, put himself in a political spot. We mostly talked about music, movies, life, family, the industry, like more digestible subjects.
You've had one-on-one conversations with him.
Oh, yeah, every day, yeah.
So what is he like personally as opposed to public perception?
People ask me that a lot about celebrities I've met, and I always thought they were exactly like how I thought they were going to be. I wasn't surprised with anybody like ultra mega famous that I've met. I'm like, if you really know, because I mean, in anybody's content, there's a bit of performance, but there's also the real in there. I think people who don't do it, they're like, oh, well, is this all a show? It's a bit of both, but when you know how to do it, you get to see what the real is. And so I felt like even before I got to know him really well, I lived with him for over a month.
In Spain?
In Spain, yeah. I felt like I knew him already from his interviews and his talking and his music. It's like, I've known this guy for forever.
He didn't fire you this time.
Luckily, I didn't get exiled. And that was like, I was on edge about that the entire time. I was like, every conversation, everything I did, that's why I was working so hard to not want to get fired. Because that was when that happened 3 years ago, that bummed me out so much.
Yeah. So
it's his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. What does he talk about the most?
I mean, he talks about everything. It's like, it's not one subject, but I think we personally would talk about art the most. And I mean,
like architecture or art, physical pieces?
He's really into architecture. I think a lot of people don't know that. He's designing this thing called Drome, like new living conditions. It's this, I can't even describe it properly, but he's making like affordable housing. I think it's going to be free, where people can live in these things called dromes, where there's
the circular thing.
Yeah,
I've seen some of those.
It looks
things.
really cool. His ideas of architecture are incredible. So I mean, we would talk about everything, That's like with a guy like that, his brain is in so many different places at once. It's not like, can I get one?
Yeah.
It's not like one particular subject.
Okay, one sec.
What flavor is this?
Citrus.
Brad's giving me drugs.
You're already smoking a cigarette. It's nicotine.
Oh, this tastes good.
Yeah.
Was 6?
Yeah, they don't.
6 or
9.
9?
You'll be all right. You'll be good. You'll be good.
Yo,
you
you're
smoke
a
cigarettes.
crackhead.
You
9?
smoke cigarettes. You're fine, bro.
Yeah, Marlboro Lights like a white mom.
You're fine. We get you some water.
Suburban mom cigarettes. This is cocaine you put in.
No, it's not. No.
9?
You're chilling.
Okay.
You're chilling, I
Let's see
swear.
how it goes.
Okay. So you're in Spain. What's the setup like? It looked because I'm not gonna lie, because I saw just random, pictures and shit. It looked like you were in like a lavish villa.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
I know. It was an extremely lavish villa, and then people.
Okay, so it's exactly that.
It was dope. Yeah, it was
Okay.
exactly that. And then people be like, "You're a slave. You're in a Spanish prison." And I was like, "Okay, this is kind of a sick villa with dope people and the best artists of all time and security and chefs. Pretty nice prison,
You didn't have to pay for food or anything?
No, food's provided for the team.
You think he picked you because he knew your past?
Really, this guy.
I gotta troll you a
This
little
guy,
bit.
yeah, this
I
guy.
gotta. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I heard about he's like he willfully said it.
Yeah, it's an album called Cook. It's not finished yet, but it was leaked. Don't listen to the leak. It's not even finished, so, but it's very good.
So that's not why he had you there.
No, he wanted me to be the album cover.
Okay. So what was your actual job with Ye?
I would say, I don't want to say too much because we had a disagreement 3 years ago when that conversation came up.
Got it.
I've said this story before, so I'll say it again. I said I wanted to be. He's like, "What can you do? What's your job title?" I'm like, "Creative director." And he goes,
He's that. That's me.
Yeah. Like that was a whole thing. So this time, I don't think it was described, but I mean, I was editing videos. I was filming a lot.
You were filming for him.
Filming for him, editing for him, streaming for him, and a lot of other miscellaneous stuff too. Like when he released his album, I was helping with the track list. I don't want to say that because it's his album, but I mean that was on stream. That's why I'm saying it. So that there's even organization for the drone people, overlooking and giving some feedback. I would just say filmer. I'm gonna keep it simple. Just filmer.
fair.
But it was a lot of editing too.
So you were actually editing videos. Did you shoot any videos yourself?
I shot a lot. I posted all of them. I posted some he posted and most of them I posted. And he would retweet or put it in his Instagram. I shot and edited maybe I think 8 or 9 videos when I was out there. I think in total 15. Some of the best stuff is not getting released. Maybe not for years or maybe ever.
That's how he is. I feel like that's how he is.
And it's so good. It's I know that it doesn't fit his vision right now, but as a fan, the stuff I have is just absolute is Netflix level documentary, and it's just never gonna see the light of day. And it's a little bit bittersweet, but it's kind of cool that I have my own documentary just for me.
You'd never release that.
Oh, not if he doesn't. No, not without his okay.
Yeah. Damn. So what do you think the most misunderstood thing about Ye is? Based on personal experience.
People say that it's hate speech, anti-Semitism, this stuff. And I see it as he sees the world as his family. And I think a lot of people can resonate that if you listen to his music and you've seen him over the years, you feel like you know this guy. That's why people, the stuff he says no other musician can say and they get canceled for because Ye is purely authentic. He's you've seen his career.
Yeah.
He's a purely authentic, genuine person, and he doesn't lie. People could say a lot of things about him, but you can't call Ye a liar. He's always tried to say what's true, what he feels, and what's real, and it doesn't come from a malicious place. So when he's lashing out and saying crazy things, it's like an argument with the family. When you have those arguments with family at Thanksgiving dinner or something, or Christmas, or on the phone, there's really passionate arguments that you see in romantic movies where the husband punches the wall and she's crying, and that's what it's like for Ye in the world. So when he is betrayed by the world, when they turn his back on him, when the industry, everyone that he's developed, they all turn on him, when they take his kids away from him, they try to call him crazy. They put him in the hospital because he wears a MAGA hat, and then every other rapper starts wearing a MAGA hat. That's why he was hospitalized at his last concert. At the end of the St. Pablo tour, he was saying, I would have voted for Trump, and they put him in the hospital. And now Sexy Red wears the MAGA hat.
Yeah.
Every rapper's doing it. It's he did it, and he's seeing it. That stuff will make you go crazy. And so he's responding look what you did to me. And so he's back and forth. Oh, you don't want me to say it? I'm going to say this. Now what? It's a fight it's an argument. And what people don't understand is hate comes from a place of love. Not that he's hateful, he spreads love speech, but that anger can only happen from someone who's truly loving. So I think the world should be more appreciative of people like that, because instead of pretending to be genuine, pretending like everything's okay, he's saying, no, I'm not, this is not okay.
Well,
You know,
I don't know.
This is how
I
you
wouldn't-
made me feel.
I wouldn't call it pretending to be genuine. It's instead of virtue signaling.
I don't even think virtue signaling is the perfect way to put it, but, you know, keeping it all in. He uses Twitter. Twitter's therapeutic to him. The speeches that he goes on is there, like saying something. There's a lot of things I've said on your podcast too, and on my career, like, you know, the cuck thing that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That was therapeutic, because I'm like, okay, I hated this. It was making me uncomfortable. I'm gonna just say it, because I'm gonna let it out. Now I'm not gonna be holding this thing that makes me uncomfortable anymore. The same reason he made that song called Cousins. He's talking about sucking his cousin's dick when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, that has got to be, who else is talking? Like, anybody else, you probably should just, like, you know, people told him, take that to the grave. But why? You're going to take that information to the grave because you're afraid of how the world is going to perceive you. He got past that fear. He's going to be better than that fear. He's just going to be, this is who I am. This is what happened. Doesn't define me. And I don't need to say everything that makes me look like the perfect human. Trump is different. I love Trump for a lot of reasons, but he's like gold signs. The Trump buildings are like around here. Trump, all caps. You know, golden toilet, perfect family, big suit, standing like this, strong, powerful all the time. He never loses. He even says in the 80s, like, he will never admit defeat. Even when he lost against Biden, and I said that they rigged the election against him and I got banned for election misinformation, he never admitted defeat. And you see that cultivates a certain reaction from his base. Now they all see him as like a WWE superstar, a superhero, literally.
Yeah,
you can see him as fans like literally worshiping him. He's like the complete opposite. He's like, these are my flaws. This is everything. This is good and bad. These are the highs and lows. And that's what being a human is. You know, humans go through these things, and not everything's comfortable. Not all of it is beautiful and magnificent, but in a way it is, because that's what the human experience is like. And so I think that the fact that we have somebody like that alive today, we should be a little more appreciative.
Yeah. I wonder where, I mean, that guy will always be good, but I wonder where he continues to go, because I know one of the last things he sort of tweeted was like, I'm not anti-Semitic anymore. I love everybody.
Which is great. Yeah, he's dropping that. He's not, and he put out like the song, he put a clean version, Hallelujah. I don't know if you heard that. So it's good to see he's got to, it feels like from my perspective, I don't want to speak for him, but it's like he let it out. It was therapeutic. He had the argument. I just had an argument with a family member too, and it was stuff that was built up for a while. And afterwards, I felt really good, to just let it out after pretending like I didn't feel this way. Sometimes it's good to just say it and see what happens.
Oh, bro, I mean, that's that's the only way you actually move through things in your life. Whoever you are, whoever is listening, like, the more you hold on to things and the more you like ruminate about things in your life, especially things that are, deeply emotional, it keeps you like sort of mentally in that space or in that age, and it doesn't allow you to grow. And I'm not saying like it's going to allow you to get older, and if you stay there, it's good because you stay younger. But I'm saying like it allows you to really grow as a human when you can actually have those uncomfortable conversations with yourself, but also with people that maybe you're involved in those in those situations with, right? And I think more people should not be afraid of that. I think more people should go towards those things, because I think a lot of people are feeling stuck and can feel stuck in their life, and 99% of the time it has to do with something like that, something traumatic in your life, some point in your life, or something you're holding on to. And if you don't speak it, I'm not saying you got to go on Twitter and fucking air out your mom for some shit, but like go to that person and say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what it made me feel then. This is how I feel now. And bro, the biggest weight in your life could be lifted. But so many people are afraid to do that. And I truly believe that, I've talked about this kind of stuff before, but I believe that social media has made people even more afraid to go towards those moments, because they think that their life should be perfect in a sense because of all the examples that they see of successful people. And most examples, other than Ye, obviously talking about, the cousin stuff, all the sort of crazy stuff that he's done or said. More examples are people of like, my life's perfect. I don't lose. Look at my cars, look at my stuff. And I think people see that and they go, damn, I don't have that. I should have that. And they have resentment towards that. So then in their personal life, they don't want to ever, it's not even admitting defeat, but it's like, it's surrendering to the fact that this is where I'm at in my life. These are the things that sort of has shaped me. And I think you never fully get to the shape that you're supposed to get to if you don't go towards that and say, where am I at now? Like, who am I now? Because everything before this moment, we can't change it. We can't make it better. The only way you make it better is you're able to assess and look at, okay, how did this make me feel? Why did I react this way? What was my doing in this? How do I avoid doing this in the future? But you never get those gems if you don't go towards it. People are afraid to go towards it because I think they think they're supposed to look special or better or more unique than someone else.
Which comes from a place of insecurity. Trying to project this perfect image is because you're afraid of people's perceptions of you. So it actually shows strength to be vulnerable because you're not afraid and you're willing to be criticized. You're willing to accept the judgment and have those uncomfortable conversations. And obviously, most people shouldn't do it. I don't think, but I think
Most people shouldn't do what?
not everybody should be like, hey, I sucked my cousin's dick.
Okay,
Like most people
fair.
are not going to be able to, like, if you have a body of work that transcends that, then you can get around that. But seeing other people do it helps them get over that and maybe do it privately and have those conversations
Right.
in their own life.
I'm not saying everything needs to be out there on the internet.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying like those conversations need to be had and
Exactly.
not avoided. That's the key. Like you did. I mean, bro, I've told you this before, but the fact that you talked about the shit that you've done or you went through or like you know experimented with whatever you want to call it. And I remember like it's the most hate. Everyone's just every time comment, blah, 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 same shit. And I remember thinking like, damn, this guy, because no one else said it. No one else leaked the video. Like you went out there and said, hey, I did this.
Yeah, it wasn't it was me. It was just me.
Exactly. And I remember being like, damn,
Why?
why? Number one, first off, I was like, why the fuck did you do that? Because I would never do that. But then I was also like, why? Like, why at the time were you able to say that and not feel a type of way about it? Did you think that you weren't going to get that reaction?
No, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the level, but
Right.
also I kind of like the challenge sometimes of giving people ammunition because I'm so good at what I do that like giving someone like, okay, like have this. It's like lets people have something, you know, because successful, tall, good looking, talented, creative, you know, like I'm not like banned and still around. I'm that guy. So it's like, okay, you guys can have this. You guys could have this to feel better.
But you weren't banned then. You're
about
talking in
my
retrospect.
existence. No, but even back then, I was like, man, I'm so dope. Like, you guys gotta have something. Like, it's just too easy.
you gave him something.
It's too easy. Yeah, I like the challenge a
That's
little
like,
bit.
I just gave him the hair.
That's a
They know about the hair.
yeah
I don't really mind it though.
yeah. No.
It's kind of, for me, it's like, it's actually similar to that now. Because now I've let go of it, but it's also like, now I keep it going because...
So bald is your cock.
Yeah. yeah. And now I just don't, it doesn't bother me. My hair used to really bother me.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm getting older now. I don't care as much. I cared for a long time. I mean, it started when I was like 23 and I was like, what the fuck? But I think now it's also like, I know that it's a conversation piece and people be like baldy and I'll still get people send me memes of like this lion without its hair.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's just funny at this point.
What
And
do you
I'll
think-
respond. I'll be like, where'd you get this photo of me? And they'll be like, I love you. This is funny, dude.
Well, it's been a year since the Ron thing. I want to ask you about that. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
How have you? What's your reaction or response a year since slapping him for taking your hat?
Well, I lost the sponsorship from it.
Damn.
Yeah. I think he lost the sponsorship from it. Like
Damn.
he lost a Porsche deal or something like that. But yeah, it was just a silly moment. Like it was a moment where I was just, again, at the time I was like, I never met the guy. I didn't know anything about him. I was just like, why does this streamer feel like he can just touch me? And you know, it was
Yeah.
that was like a real reaction.
Yeah.
Where it was like, what? And you know, if you watch the video, I tried to like get it, and I was like, all right, I'm asking him nicely twice, and I was just like, yo, why? Well, I'm not gonna let this person disrespect me, because I didn't know that there was anything tied to the whole reason why he was even trolling me was the whole song thing, but I didn't know anything about the song.
What song?
Payphone. So Lacey was like, yo, put on this song, right? He was like, play this song. Can you play the aux? Because it's my gym. Because they were like, yo, can we come stream? I was like, absolutely. And he's like, can you play this song? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I played the song, and Ron, StableRonaldo, thought that I knew about the troll. That's why I played the song. But it's because Lacey asked me to. And so he thought it was a reaction that I was like, haha, I'm going to play the song. Because he had like his cuck moment was the Payphone song, like losing, like something with his girl, like he lost his girl, and like, he sang the song, or someone made fun. He was getting made fun of for that song. Again, I don't even know all the lore, but that was like a pain moment for him, and he kind of tried to take it out on me, like I'm gonna get you back. But I had no idea about any of the lore.
Okay.
So I was just reacting to just a random person taking my hat and being like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And knowing it was live, I was like, well, you're not just gonna just disrespect me like that. What the fuck? That's what it was. So looking back, it's like, yeah. Well, people in the comments say I revived his career.
You think so?
I don't think so.
No.
He was already kind of doing.
Yeah, he
this.
was on an upward trajectory. Yeah.
But people they like to troll him for that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
I can slap someone's career back. You want me to slap you right now? Take my
career.
hat.
My career is never.
Take my hat.
Take my hat.
Take my hat.
Take my hat.
I'll take your fucking hat, bro.
I'll take your fucking hat.
I will actually take your hat right now. I swear to God.
You're not gonna take my hat.
I'll slap the shit out of you too.
I'm gonna slap. I'm not gonna slap you.
I'm kidding. You got me flashbacks in the gym.
You're getting PTSD right now.
I want to knock his other tooth out.
That was hey. That was hey. That was a friendly thing.
It was completely friendly.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, from my end, I don't know about your end.
Bro, it was my end too.
I don't know if that was friendly.
Bro, nah. You know, this motherfucker, for the record, called me. He's on the way to my gym. He's like, bro, we should box. I was like, we shouldn't box. We should not do that. And I already said no. And then you got there again in person. You were like, live. You're like, nah, we should.
No, what people don't know is because right before, I think someone pressured me to box my cameraman. And I boxed him, and I think I hit him a couple times, and it just like, oh, okay, like.
I got the payback for your cameraman.
You got the payback at the cameraman, yeah.
Okay,
but he asked to fight both. Everyone is always fighting me, and they're asking.
Yeah.
They're asking. Like, he was holding the camera, and then he wanted to fight, and then that was right after, you know.
Well, that was right after we did it.
No, that was right before.
And then you did it again, didn't you fight him right after me in the gym?
No, right before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you fought, and then you're like, now you.
I think you said now you.
No, I never said now
I think
me.
you said now
no,
you.
I know I was avoiding it because I was avoiding it since the fucking SUV you were pulling up with FaceTime. I was like, no, we shouldn't do that. And then you fought him, and then you were on camera like me and you, and I was like, God damn it, bro! I even said on live, no, we shouldn't do this. Of course, that's all cut out, just me punching you in the face. I was like, no, we.
But you see me, I'm wearing jeans. I'm like, hey, you know, like I'm in a good mood. And then
bro, I was
I grabbed your hat.
I was in a good mood too. That was a vibe, bro.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a great moment. But did Strickland ask you to fight, or did you ask Strickland to fight?
See, he asked me to fight. And that's what I hate when people are like, oh, you called him out. You were talking
He
shit.
DM'd you?
I was never talking shit. I went up to him at Power Slap, and I'm like, hey, man, congrats, you're UFC champ. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, I was nice and respectful the whole
live?
time. Yeah, I was live. I'm like, hey, how you doing, Sean? Like, he's like, are you a fucking influencer? Like, let's fight. And we get in there. He couldn't knock me out. Then he says he respects me. Right afterwards, like, hey, you took the shots, blah, blah, blah. He fought other people.
He fought more. He kept training after your little.
Yeah, so did I. I was training too. But like, and right after, he's like, yeah, he said like, oh, you get respect. Now he's going around, and I think he regrets the fact that he couldn't drop an influencer as a UFC champ, 70 pounds. You're 100 pounds more. He's 70 pounds more. Couldn't drop me. And he's saying like, now he's going around talking shit. It's like, bro, I was never disrespectful to you. You asked me to fight. I went in there. I did what I was supposed to do. At least as a fighter, you should respect the fact that I got in there. And now he's still talking shit. That's a perfect example of somebody with a lot of unrealized problems. A guy who where he's trying to put on this like tough guy thing all the time and trying to portray this image. Like, dude, this is not you. Like, show the real you. And I could tell the guy's hurting. You know, the fact that he's talking the way he does, this not a guy who's all the way resolved in his head.
Did you have any other conversation with him about anything else like that? Like, not obviously, you're not going to talk about his trauma and his problems, but
I never said disrespectful things. I never brought up like I know what you're talking about. I never said that stuff. Never said it, which is hypocritical for him to like go around and talk about things that I'm not like excited about from my past. But you know damn well that I could do the same thing, and I'm not going to do that because I know how much that would hurt him. Right?
Yeah.
I don't like to hurt people.
So you didn't say any of that shit?
No, never.
Yeah.
But he actually does want to hurt people. And it's because he's a hurt people. He has a lot of unresolved problems. And he could actually show a good example. Like somebody who clearly is that traumatized could show an example and be like, this is what happened. I'm not proud of this. And kind of own it the same way that Ye was open about what happened with him.
I mean, he didn't he go on Theo's podcast and talk about some of this stuff?
Yeah, and he hated the reaction and then pretty much just like dodged it forever. I'm not even talking about his child. I'm just saying like that guy should try to be more whole because he's not.
So round 2 is there a round 2 coming? Like what's going on here? I feel like
inevitably
he's gonna drop you this time, bro.
He's gonna try everything.
Oh,
he tried. He people say like, oh, he went 80%, 70%. He tried his absolute best. He told me he did.
No, he told you that?
He said so. He said like right after the fight. He tried to.
Is that on live too?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's on the stream. You're like, oh, yes, he did. And
he himself said, "I tried."
Yes.
It. Okay.
And you've seen him fight other people too. He tries to hurt people as much as he can. I think it's kind of ironic that now like he talks so much shit about influencers and YouTubers. That's where his career is going. Like you're hanging out with streamers all the time. You think you're better than them, but this is what you're going to end up doing because how much more time in his career does he have left?
I see.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand the whole. I understand the whole streamer and YouTuber hate, but at the same time, I don't because there's so many examples of other, even great fighters that were able to leverage social media in a way that like made them even larger than life. I think they know that. I mean, there was something he said that I thought was really interesting. I think pretty recently, he said like something about how much fighters make. Like you don't make shit in the UFC, you make 50,000, some type of money.
Pays low.
And I wish I had the exact. I don't want to fuck it up. Basically saying how you don't make much money in the UFC, and. But then there's a clip of him on 8 Instinct saying like his net worth's probably like
$1
gonna
mil.
be 8. What? Or it's gonna be 8 million.
No, he wants 8 mil. He doesn't have 8 mil.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm like, I look at him like it's interesting because the UFC shade's funny because I get it. Like, should fighters make more money? In some cases, probably. Should every single fighter make more money? I don't know if that's right to say, right? But Sean, a handful of other fighters were also able to leverage a network that's so massive that's able to allow them to make so much more money. I mean, look at Sugar Sean, for example. Like he's someone who was able to become so much of a celebrity outside of the UFC that even if he stopped fighting, he would be good.
No, he's good, yeah.
You know? So it's always funny when I see the fighters talk about fighter pay. And like I could understand why some people think there should be some sort of like minimum pay. But at the same time, it's like it's also become such a massive platform for you to build your whole brand. But then that requires a whole nother set of skills, you know? And the skills of like a YouTuber or a streamer, that it's funny to like shit on like what those people do.
It's like you should be doing this. Yeah, it's this weird hierarchy where you think you're better than that, but are you? Also, this is like one of the best ways to become an independent CEO.
Yeah. Yeah, shit, it's raining. Fuck. It's some New York shit.
Yeah, I know New York all the time.
I feel like, does it rain a lot out here like that?
Yeah, this year it's been raining a shit ton.
But yeah, I don't get the UFC hate, like the fighter pay hate, because like there's just so many fighters that have become massive celebrities from it too, where it's like,
yeah, you should be using social media.
But that's a good that's a giant leverage system.
They should be using it, yeah.
So, but then to shit on it is just also kind of interesting. But then also doing it while shitting on it is also kind of interesting.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it is what it is. Dude, you should, round 2, dude. I think you can get him. If you had a gun. You definitely need a gun.
There's no point for the round 2. Like, everything happened that was going to happen, right?
Yeah. He's not going to like what you're saying now, though.
What I said's the truth. Like,
yeah, it's what it is. Are there any other UFC fighters that, like, you have sparred with or worked with?
Yeah, I sparred Nate Diaz. Oh, like a couple days after that. Marab worked around with him.
Bro, Marab.
Jake Shields, former UFC fighter. I know a lot of UFC fighters. The Basharat brothers.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go out to Dagestan with someone. That's supposed to happen next month.
You're going to go stream that?
Hopefully, yeah. That's the plan.
Like Khabib's camp?
Yeah, I mean,
That'd be fucking huge.
Yeah, Muhammad Mokayev hit me up, said he wants to go there, and I mean, all those Dagestan fighters know each other. I'm looking forward to that.
That would be fucking cool. Nate Diaz, how was meeting Nate Diaz? Because that guy's like one of the chillest fucking people I've ever met.
He's super fun to hang out with. I pulled up to Stockton, genuine guy. You know, not owned by anybody. He's like
Yeah.
the quintessential. I think he embodies the whole idea of like a UFC fighter, like to not give a fuck, slapping people in public, choking people out in front of the bar.
Yeah.
He's a real motherfucker, like a street dude. I wish there was more fighters like him. The UFC's not the same. Like the UFC kind of sucks recently.
Why?
I love the UFC, but too many fighters are getting too much money's involved. Nate Diaz is doing it just because he wants to beat bitches up. Like he just like I'm that guy. It's not about money. He's just like I'm better than you. I can beat you up. Other people, it's like I don't know. I think McGregor kind of created a bubble where UFC did peak, and now we're living in the post-peak era where people are seeing how much money's involved, what you can get from it. You know, how much should I be fighting for? Before too much publicity and money was in UFC, it was more like, I don't like you and I want to beat you up, right? McGregor, Khabib, you see all of Diaz's fights. It had that hype and everything. Now, like, they'll get up to the press conference. I don't want to be disrespectful. Fighter pay. I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to go to this division. I'm going to refuse to fight for years.
So you think there was more real beef back then?
More real beef, and also people were fighting more for respect and less for career and money. They're seeing what McGregor has done, and so they're trying to recreate that, and it's disingenuous.
I see, but there is also has to be an evolution of things where I think, because you talk about respect, but there is respect and legacy, and like people who, like for example, Khabib, Merab just won, I think he's 13 fights in a row.
Yeah.
And there's legacy there because the only other fighters who have done that stuff is like John Jones, I think Khabib, there's a few other people in there. So it's like, there is respect, there is legacy there, and I think there are still fighters that fight for that.
But not that those super mega fights like there were. Like we should have seen Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria. That was the mega fight that the UFC needed, and it's not happening. You know, we should see John Jones, Tom Aspinall. Why is it not happening? All these missed matchups.
Well, John Jones recently talking about fighting Ngannou. I don't know about
why is he not fighting Aspinall? Like that doesn't make sense. I love John Jones. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like he's saying that because he's a lot. Oh, that are different generations, dude. You're 37. He's 32. He fought DC when he was like early 20s. DC was almost 40. John Jones fought Stipe. Stipe was like 42 years old, and John Jones was 36. Like this is a matchup that should happen. Tom Aspinall's the #1 challenger. John Jones is still carrying the belt with the challenger waiting right now, and for no reason they're not fighting. Like we need to see more of these fights instead of seeing people like sit on the belt forever, holding up the division. Why is Movsar Evloev not fighting Alexander Volkanovski? The reason Movsar is not getting the title shot is because they don't want too many Muslim fighters. They don't want more people from Russia and like the mountains or the region.
Do you think they actually think like
Absolutely. Movsar, he's completely undefeated. He's beaten everyone in his division. Volkanovski's like, I want to fight him. Movsar's like, I want to fight Volkanovski, and they don't do the matchup because they don't want Movsar as a champion. Because they don't want another Muslim. How many are there right now? The lightweight champion is Muslim. Like they're just dominating
Do you
every
think
weight
it's
division.
the Muslim thing, or do you think
I do.
it's the...
Because it's less profitable. They need American stars. They need English-speaking stars. They don't want all the people like, you know, who pray religiously, and because they've.
I don't know if it has to do with religion.
It's not with religion, but it's less marketable to have these guys. Like to have they see guys like Movsar like as similar to Ankalev, who just beat Pereira. Pereira's more marketable. They have the Brazilian market. It's more different.
I see.
Movsar should have the title shot, and he's not, only because of that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's also a business. You also want to...
That's the problem with UFC.
So there's like...
It's because it's become too business oriented. There's too much money involved to really put on the best fights. So hopefully there's a resurgence, because I love the UFC. I love MMA. Right now it's in a brutal spot. It sucks right now.
I love the UFC. I get it. I can see it from both perspectives. It's just like, how would you find that balance otherwise? Because you do have to make business decisions as a fucking business. Like, you can't just, you know, if you're like, yeah, if you're genuinely being like, yo, who would be more marketable? Obviously, they have the best fighters as well, but it's just like, you still have to make those sort of back-end room meetings and be like, yo, what's also going to be best for the sport? I think all sports are like that.
Yeah, but
Like every sport.
right now, that's why it sucks, is that it's been too much. So hopefully I don't see.
I think the John Jones Aspinall one too, because I obviously I don't know John Jones personally. I never had this conversation with him. I'd love to interview him, but I think it's more so like it was like the person that was sort of, yo, I want to fight you for the longest, and he's like, I don't need to fight you.
So then give up the belt.
I think he said. I think he.
So
tweeted
why is he
recently-
still has the belt?
I think he tweeted recently like, I don't give a fuck. He'll strip me. Like, I don't think he cares. I think he wants to fight.
He cares. Of course he cares.
You think so?
Yeah. Why would he not want his belt?
I think he wants to fight Ngannou for real. I think that'd be an insane fight. I wonder if they could pull that back and have that happen at the UFC.
But they should be, my point, they should be forced to fight the top contenders or just get rid of your belt. Don't hold everybody else up in the division.
I see what you're saying.
Osman's waiting. There's no reason why, like, just because he doesn't feel like fighting the top contender, then you're not the real champ. Right?
I guess. I think he's thinking about like overall
Legacy?
like,
Yeah, 'cause
like what Ngannou has done and where Ngannou was, because Ngannou was there and
He's
now
not even in the UFC right now.
Well, exactly,
So
but
it's like-
but he was in that position.
Yeah,
you know?
but look, if he's the champ, the top contender in your division, you should fight him to remain champ. It's that simple.
yeah,
That's how sports work. Like, that's how you gain your champ spot.
I think though they always wanted that fight to happen, and then obviously Ngannou made his choices to get a bunch of money in boxing. But that fight, like I think if there's no way if Ngannou was still in the UFC, John Jones wouldn't have taken that fight.
Ngannou should fight the winner of Aspinall Jones, because these are the top two contenders
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now.
bro, listen, I'm like the biggest John Jones fan, which is probably why I'm like defending him a little bit.
Yeah.
I would love to see both those fights.
Definitely should get Aspinall first. Yeah. Poor guy's like wasting his prime sitting around because John Jones doesn't want to fight him. That's like he's wasting his career.
How do you think that fight goes? That sucked, bro. Fuck. I would like to
I
see
think
it.
Aspinall wins, to be honest with you. I think Aspinall wins.
Nah.
And then-
I bet on John Jones any day. No, Aspinall's fucking. He's definitely like probably one of the bigger, if not the biggest threat. But what about Ngannou? Do you think he's as big of a threat?
less. I think he's less of a threat. He's been boxing for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's older.
How old is Ngannou?
Ngannou's like 38.
Fair. I mean, everyone's also thinking, yeah, they're also, because for John Jones to lose too, he's got to also think about his legacy. Like, he don't want to lose. It's like, think of Mayweather.
Yeah, but then
You know?
then get rid of your champ belt. Then like relinquish the belt if you don't want to lose.
Fair point.
That's not how it works.
Fair point. Did you see the BJJ thing they just released, the UFC?
No.
Yeah, I was like tripping. They have like this it almost looks like a moat. Yeah, some BJJ thing. It's brand. I think it's like they released it like brand new today. But so let's go back to social media and sort of what you're doing. You stream a lot with Aiden still,
Yeah.
right? Has your conversation around politics, has it weakened or and I wouldn't say strengthened, but has it weakened that relationship? Like
No.
to be able to
Not at all. That's why Aiden's a real friend of mine, is that even though we may disagree about things and I could be a brand risk, it's like he's still like, this is my friend. You know, we talk all the time, and he's a real, genuine person. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to, you know, we go through ups and downs in our friendship, which is difficult when you're a content creator talking online. There's so much at play, your reputation, so many people involved. But the reason we're friends is that like we know that it's deeper than content, and we can disagree and still get along.
Yeah. I just always wonder, like, does he get pushed back or?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he does all the time. He tells me, like, the Boca Raton Jews, like, say, like, why are you friends with this guy? All the time. But, I mean, same thing. People ask me, like, why are you friends with this degenerate who's defending blah, blah, blah. Like, he's my friend.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, it's okay to have friends with people you disagree with. Like, for example, I go on runs with Casey Neistat, and I'm sure, like, we definitely disagree about some stuff. But I like that we don't need to always talk about it. Like, we could just
Yeah.
go on a run, talk about vlogs, talk about stuff we have in common, and not let political disagreements divide us.
Yeah. I think that's how it should be.
I know, but the
Yeah.
past couple of years since George Floyd, COVID, so many people lost friendships over that stuff. It's like, dude, like, a lot of these people are good people, and you shouldn't miss out on those relationships because of what they say in the news.
Yeah. That's, dude, it's like this with me and my mom, bro. Like, I got to tell her, stop sending me stuff that's political. Like, I don't want to have political conversations with you.
My
But
mom's
I
the same.
agree. But I also think that's also by design. I think the divisiveness of like just all of this and people having to pick sides is by design. I think it's to keep people
Yeah,
just
to keep
again
you-
picking
yeah.
sides. But it's sad.
Divide
It's
and conquer.
Because life is not that like
Linear.
it's just not like that. It's like there's so many other levels to it where it's like, yeah, someone could believe something, I could not believe it. It doesn't mean like I hate this person or I can't have a conversation with this person, or that's the thing that I don't like about the internet. Like it gets, that's honestly the worst part about this job too. Like where there's situations where I'm like, oh, is someone gonna think differently about me if I have this conversation? But I'm like, man, I'm just having a conversation. Like if I'm talking about something, it'd be different if I was like saying like, you know, things that were inciting violence and this is, we should do this.
Right.
Or that's a fucking problem. But just to talk and have conversations about things, it's weird that there's even times when I'm like even you right now, I'm like putting you on the show and then I'm like, I already have an idea. Like, is someone going to hit me and be like, yo, why'd you do this? And I'm like, but
No, they are.
Bro, I just want to, I just like to have conversations about shit. Like, that's how you learn.
It's very un-American that we have to have those thoughts and that we let the brands and sponsorships get in the way and dictate who you're allowed to interact with.
Yeah. It just feels unhuman, not even just un-American. It's like,
Very true.
that's how have people got to the point of like the world that is today. It's not from just being like, this is the only thing I believe and this is the only thing that's true and this is the only thing that's real. That's just not even human, dude. That's just the weirdest concept. I'll never get it, but I don't know. I hope someday it does change. I really do, genuinely, because
it is now. More people, I think JD Vance going at Theo Von's a good example of that. Two people that he knew that was going to come up. Theo Von said what he said, the most divisive subject, and they can't avoid it. It's like too many people are talking about it to avoid it now.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the Elon and Trump thing a little bit. So when you saw the whole tweet, we talked about it a little bit, but let's go a little deeper. Did you think, because when I first saw it, I was like, huh. In my head, I go, well, but this is the same guy who, he's been around for quite some time, and then all of a sudden he's saying this. Like the whole Epstein, thing. I'm like, well, it seems like maybe you have that information. You didn't say it till right now for some reason, and I just can't understand the full reason. Like, is it another form of diversion or distraction? You know what I'm saying?
Think if it was planned out? I don't think so. I was talking about that last. I really think that was Elon's real feeling and emotion.
Yeah.
But I think people are seeing how silly that is, because if Trump is really on the Epstein files, why would you bring your kids around someone who was on the Epstein island?
Yeah.
You brought your family there, you worked with him, you said he's the best guy ever, you went to all his speeches, you're next to him in the White House, and now that you disagree with him, now he's on the Epstein files. Okay, if that was really a major concern of yours, you would have avoided him at all costs.
Right. And then there's like on the other side of it is I think Trump was saying the reason why is because he didn't get the EV, like these credits or these contracts, whatever, and it's like, but then there's also other footage of them talking about it and him, I think side by side being like knowing that he wasn't going to get those things and not caring. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like not making it a problem. So there's like both sides. It's like what? Like I'm just like, what's the point? What? It's just like
I think it was a power thing. I don't think it was planned. I think Elon is thinking, okay, I'm the richest guy in the world. I'm better than you, and he slowly realized that.
You think it's like pure ego?
That power beats money every time. He may be the richest person in the world, but you can't buy the power that Trump has, the connections he has, the influence that he has. You can't buy his supporter base. You can't buy the nuke codes. Money goes so far, but connections and power always wins. And look, he deleted the tweets. Power won.
And then it's like, does everyone just forget about it? Because everyone's like, yeah, he's got to come out and prove and say this. And it's like, what is he gonna say?
I don't know how.
Because there already come out time ago that he was like, I don't know if he's like using this guy's jets or like there's obviously pictures of them together being friends, like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he did nefarious shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like there had already been proof that.
I mean, there's pictures with Elon Musk and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right.
So, I mean, everyone knows. Everyone's seen the pictures of Trump and Epstein. They were friends. So,
it's just interesting, man. I'm just like, why now? Why in this moment where they're like, yo, fuck it. You don't think it was like not diversion, no plan? It was just the guy was just fucking.
I think he was just
something.
crashing out on Twitter. Yeah.
Well, did you see the thing where they said that he fought the treasurer?
Yeah, and that's why he had the black eye, like he was wrestling. I kind of believe that.
You believe that?
I kind of believe that.
You think it was like around the same time where he's like?
Yeah, I think it was the same crash out. Shout out to Elon getting me unbanned on Twitter. Big fan. Love X.
Yeah. I mean, what he did with X was, I think, fucking crucial. Because everything else is definitely more orchestrated, controlled, whatever you want to call it. Personal life. Are you what?
Okay.
No, yeah. Can I ask you about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How old are you now?
26.
Yeah. Do you see yourself? I mean, would you like to settle down? Like, do you want to have a family?
I thought I would be married and have kids by now. I know you probably want to, right? But
Yeah.
I keep delaying it, and I think right now, like I'm so career focused, I'm putting it off for now, for a couple of years. I'll probably till I'm 30. I don't see it as something immediate. But I always thought that I would have kids by 25, but it's not the plan that God had for me.
Yeah, I thought that I was gonna have kids somewhere early 30s.
Shit, bro. Now you're 48.
No,
Yeah,
no,
damn,
no.
man.
Not
Happy birthday,
48.
Brad.
Nah, fuck you.
He's
Not
48 years old, no family.
No. I'm 27. I'm 28.
Slapping Ronaldo at 48.
Yeah, no, I'm 28. Bro, by the way, everyone says he was a kid. The guy was fucking 20 or 21 or something.
But he looks like a kid in the video.
Yeah, I know. It's fun.
The funny thing is, Lacey, like back then when he was a lot fatter, just not know.
He was like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was the funniest part.
A whole nother meme. So you don't work towards that in your life right now?
I mean,
Family.
I do. Of course I do. Everything I do is kind of working towards that position, but it's not something I'm in a rush to do.
Yeah. What do you think you look for if you are looking? What do you think you look for in women?
I mean, I changed that. I guess I grift that a lot too.
That's normal though.
I grift.
That's normal. That's a normal grift of like where you're at in your life and what's important.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people act like they don't change their mind. Sometimes I think that I want an American woman. Then I'm like, oh no. Then I want her to be foreign because I don't want to be feminist indoctrinated. And I'm like,
Passport, bro.
Not kind of. And then
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, I relate more to westernized people. You know, like okay, I want a virgin. All right, it's okay. She got a couple bodies. You know.
Yeah.
I think just right now it's a girl that I get along with. You know, I think a lot of the other stuff and preconceived ideas, like it's like looking at a video game character. Like these are her stats.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just look at like, you know, how we get along.
Yeah. Definitely as I've gotten older, man, it's like I for sure throughout my 20s was way more focused on what someone looked like. And as you get older, you're like, man, like, can I actually have a good conversation with this person?
Yeah.
That's the thing that I certainly look for.
That's what I grift a lot is like, do I want to be able to talk to her that much? Sometimes I think I don't, you know, I'm busy, I'm talking all the time, I don't. But I do enjoy good conversations with the woman that I'm with. So.
Yeah. I think it should be someone that challenges you in a way mentally that makes you think about the things that you're already thinking about from a different perspective.
And gives you
That's
good
what
feedback and
Yeah.
like those are the best relations I've had. Where
Yeah.
they're able to give good analysis and make you, you know, consider what you're doing.
Yes. That's exactly what I look for now. That's what makes you better.
I think so.
Because otherwise, it's just like, you know, man decision everything, which can be good in a lot of ways, and it's paid off for a lot of ways for me in my life. But there's definitely other things that I'm like, man, I need a little bit of help. You know, I need a little bit of.
You need a queen to run that empire.
Yeah. So there's no one you're serious. So it's not Ye's wife's sister's. Not.
Yeah, I knew that as soon as you said personal life. That's why I laughed because I knew that's.
What's her
where,
name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know her name.
It's like starting to rain.
Sensori. What's her last? Sensori.
Nice weather.
Angelica.
Some.
Is it Angelica? I think it is. Can you look that up? Is it Angelica? Bianca's sister's name. It's Angelica, right? I think. I might be getting this wrong. I thought it was just because I was like, I saw the tweets and let me check myself. That's a nice name. Angelica. Interesting. Oh, it is. It is Angelica. I was right.
Yeah.
So it's a.
That is the sister. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're an expert. I love that.
Not my first rodeo, Brad.
Oh my God. So okay. Yeah. You have any questions for me? You always have good questions. You are really good at speaking. You're good at all this kind of shit. So I value.
I think the question that I have for you is stuff that like we talk about privately, you know. So maybe I'll save that for
That's
off
fair.
the podcast.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
No, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Glad you're in New York. We're supposed to go around a little bit today. The rain picked up a little bit, but I think we should.
I'm down.
Just excited for the future.
Do you have a bike I could ride? Or
I ride city bikes.
Okay.
Just rent those. Those
Okay.
are fun. You just dock them anywhere. There's electric city bikes
Okay.
too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're gonna go fucking do then.
Let's go run
That's
it.
what I want to do. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. It's always great.
Always a
Raw talk.
pleasure. And yeah, subscribe to the channel every Tuesday. I love you guys. Obviously, Sneako's on Party now, getting paid handsomely. He wouldn't tell me how much, but that's okay. I'll
I
find
have
out.
equity in the website. So all streamers, you're building up platforms. You should own part of the website. Like, look how much I did for Rumble. I didn't have any equity. That made no sense. I think I made it for Gen Z. I brought all these people on, made it not a right-wing conspiracy website for a while. So streamers should own their platforms that they're building.
You think they'll offer that to more people?
Party? Sure, yeah. If the creator's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Brad's eyes lit up. We could talk about that after the
I was
pod.
like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
But do you
YouTube's
think
not
they
gonna
can
do
even
that.
compete at this, like the Twitch and Kick
Absolutely,
thing?
they already are competing. We had Party just had its biggest month in May, and that was a website that Ye was live on.
Oh, shit.
Twitch is not getting Ye. Rumble's not getting Ye. No, he did get academics, but no, that wasn't a stream, so.
Yeah. I'm interested. We'll talk about it. I'm definitely going to try to take live streaming serious this year. That's my goal this year. Outside of the podcast stuff is taking that more serious.
It's the future. Yeah.
You think even desktop stuff, or is it just because it seems like it's all IRL shit now?
I think it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
You gotta do it all.
Okay. All right. Thank you, bro. For real.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna go ride bikes in New York. I love you guys.
Cool.